Are you an owner of a business and you're still adding your leads into your email marketing tool manually? Then this video is just for you. So hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. In this video, we're going to learn how to create or update Encharge person on Google Forms submission. So I am an owner of a digital marketing agency and using Google Forms, I collect the data of my leads. And for my email marketing tool, I use Encharge in my business. Here what I want is that as soon as by the potential customers or clients, a new form submission is going to be done using Google Forms, I want to create that lead as a person in my Encharge account in my email marketing list. Now creating this person manually after new lead is generated is very time consuming. So what I did was I simply automated this entire process with the help of Pabbly Connect, which is an amazing automation and integration software. And here in this automation, I'm going to build a connection between Google Forms and Encharge with the help of it. So if you also want to learn about this amazing automation step by step and want to see how this automation works, then let me take you all to my screen. In this video, we're going to learn how to create or update Encharge person on Google Forms submission. So here I'm an owner of a digital marketing agency and with the help of Google Forms, I'm collecting the data of my leads. I want that you can see this is the form that I've created with the help of which I'm collecting the data of my leads. Over here, I have filled the form right over here. For the first name, I've written it as smart, last name as person1, email as smartperson1@pabblyconnect.com with the mobile number, company as test company and the service interested in, okay? I want that as soon as the form submission is going to be done by the lead with the help of Google Forms, you can see it says your response has been recorded. I want that in my Encharge account. I'm going to refresh this page from here. A new person should be added who have done the form submission in my Encharge account. You can see the person is smartperson1, email is smartperson1@pabblytudes.com. Over here, this is the company name, that is the test company, and this is the phone number, okay? So you can see the lead is automatically added as a person in my Encharge account as they have done the form submission using Google Forms. Now, how did this happen? For that, I have created an automation between Google Forms and Encharge with the help of Pabbly Connect. So I'm an owner of a digital marketing agency and I regularly collect leads and clients inquiries with the help of the form that I've created using Google Forms. At the same time, I rely on Encharge to nurture these leads and engage with them through personalized email marketing campaigns. However, manually transferring the leads data from Google Form submissions into my Encharge is very time consuming. So to solve this, I've set up an automation that instantly creates or updates a person in my Encharge account as soon as a lead does a form submission using Google Forms. This ensures my leads are added in my marketing workflow immediately, saving time and enabling me to focus on building relationships with my potential clients. Okay, so we're going to create this automation with the help of Pabbly Connect. So on the screen, you can see the website of Pabbly Connect, that is pabbly.com/connect. After browsing this website, we need to sign into our Pabbly Connect account. But if you're a new user, you can sign up for free and get 100 free tasks every month. So as I'm an existing user, I'm going to sign into my Pabbly Connect account. Then you can see all Pabbly apps window is going to appear in front of you, in which you can see all the applications of Pabbly, from which we are going to select Pabbly Connect by clicking on this Access Now button. Then Pabbly Connect's dashboard is going to appear in front of you. In order to start an automation process in Pabbly Connect, we need to create a workflow. For that, click on this top right corner button right here that says Create Workflow. A dialog box is then going to appear in front of you, which is asking for the workflow name and for us to select a folder. So for the name of my workflow, I'm going to give it as Create or Update Encharge Person on Google Forms Submissions. Okay, so this is the name that I want to give to my workflow. After that, it is asking for us to select a folder. So on the left side of my screen, you can see I've created multiple folders in my Pabbly Connect account, from which I'm going to select a specific folder in which I want to save this workflow in. For I click on this drop down. These are the folders from which I'm going to select Google Form Automations as the folder I want to save this workflow in. After giving the name to the workflow and selecting the folder, let's click on this Create button in order to create a workflow. A workflow is created in the name of Create or Update Encharge Person on Google Forms Submission. And over here, you can see there are two windows in front of you. One says Trigger, other says Action. So what is Trigger and Action? Trigger and Action are the two most important steps of our automation process because our process depends on these two concepts. Over here, Trigger says when this happens and Action says do this. That means what is Action? Action is a response towards our trigger. In an automation process, there can be only one trigger step but multiple action steps. We are going to set up our trigger step first. And for the trigger application, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it as Google Forms. As with the help of Google Forms, I have created a form with the help of which my potential customers or clients send their inquiries for my digital marketing agency. So this is the form that I've created. And I want that as soon as the form submission is going to be done by the lead, I want Pabbly Connect should capture the response of that. That is why for the trigger application, I'm going to select it as Google Forms. And for the trigger event, I'm going to select it as new response received. After selecting the trigger application and the event, you can see that to connect Google Forms to Pabbly Connect has provided us with a webhook URL. With the help of this unique webhook URL, we're going to build a connection between Google Forms and Pabbly Connect by following the steps given here below in the health tests one by one. Okay. So what I'm going to do is firstly, I'm going to copy this URL from here. After copying the URL, I'm going to open the form that I want to connect to Pabbly Connect. So this is the form that I've created using Google Forms, and I want to connect this form to Pabbly Connect. In order to do that, what we're going to do is from this panel right over here, go to the responses option. As you're going to come to responses over here, this link to sheet option is provided. Select this option right here. As you're going to select it, over here it is asking for us to select the destination for responses. Over here, you can either create a new spreadsheet or you can select the existing one that you have. I want to create a new spreadsheet, so I'm going to select this option and click on this create button. As I've done that, you can see right over here, spreadsheet has been created right here. Okay, this is the spreadsheet right over here, and this spreadsheet is directly connected to this form that I've created using Google Forms. This means whenever a form submission is going to be done by the lead, automatically the record of that is going to be created in this spreadsheet right here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to connect this spreadsheet to Pabbly Connect so that whenever a record of the form submission is going to be created in this spreadsheet, automatically Pabbly Connect is going to capture the response of that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to connect this spreadsheet to Pabbly Connect. For connecting the spreadsheet, over here from the panel, go to the extensions option. Coming to extensions, it says add-ons, go to it and go to get add-ons right here. As you're going to do that, this window is going to appear in front of you, on which on the search bar, we have to search for Pabbly Connect webhooks. Select Pabbly Connect webhooks right here. Open this Pabbly Connect webhooks. You can see that I've already installed Pabbly Connect webhooks. Okay, as I've already installed it, I'm going to move forward. But if you have not installed it, please do install it so that you can create a connection between this spreadsheet and Pabbly Connect. So as I've already installed, I'm going to go back and refresh this page from here. So as now Pabbly Connect webhooks has been installed, I'm going to go back to extensions. And as the app is installed, you can see right over here, this is Pabbly Connect webhooks. I'm going to select this option. From the given drop down, I'm going to click on this initial setup button right here. As I'm going to do that, a window is then going to appear in front of you. In this window, over here it is asking for the webhook URL and the trigger column. So for this webhook URL field, I'm going to paste the webhook URL that Pabbly Connect has provided us. And for the trigger column, it says the trigger column will be a final data column on which of the data is added. In the spreadsheet, my trigger column is going to be column G because this is the final column in which the data is going to be added. So where for the trigger column, I'm going to write it as column G. Okay. After entering the URL and selecting the trigger column, I'm going to click on this submit button. As I've done that, you can see it says setup configured successfully. As now the setup is done, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you some steps right now which you have to follow for sure. Okay, these are very important steps. Go back to extensions in Pabbly Connect webhooks. Now from these options, there is an option that is send on event. You have to click on this option. As over here it is saying working. As the loading is completed, I'm going to go back to extensions in Pabbly Connect webhooks. You can see over here tick mark is in front of send on event. Why it is important to click on send on event? Because whenever a record of the form submission is going to be created in the spreadsheet, automatically this spreadsheet is going to send that data to Pabbly Connect. So that is why it is very important to click on send on event. Okay. As now we've set up the connection between Google Forms and Pabbly Connect, you can see right away in the workflow it is saying waiting for webhook response. So now to check whether Google Forms is successfully connected to Pabbly Connect or not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the test form submission of this form that I've created. And after doing the test submission, I'm going to check whether Pabbly Connect captures the response of the form submission being done or not. Okay, so now let us do the test form submission. This is the form that I've created. To do the test form submission, I'm going to click on this preview button right here. So this is the form that I've created, and now we're going to do the test form submission. Firstly, it is asking for the first name. So for the first name over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write it as test. For the last name over here, I'm going to write it as dummy67. For the email over here, I'm going to write it as testdummy67@pabblytunes.com. For the phone number over here, I'm going to write in a dummy mobile number. And for the company over here, I'm going to write it as new company. Okay. After that, it is asking for the service interested in. For that, I'm going to select it as SEO right here. Okay. And then I'm going to click on the submit button to do the test submission. You can see right away it says response has been recorded. This means the test submission is now done. As now the submission is done, I'm going to open the spreadsheet that I've created. You can see in the spreadsheet, the record of the form submission has been successfully created. First name test, last name dummy67, email as testdummy67@pabblytunes.com for the phone number, the mobile number, company name as test company, and for the service interested in as SEO. Okay. I'm going to go back to my workflow and scroll down. And yes, you can see right over here, Pabbly Connect has captured the response of the form submission being done. Let us tally the response. For the service interested in comes as SEO. For the phone number, the dummy mobile number, first name as test, last name as dummy67, email as testdummy67@pabblytunes.com, company name as new company. As we have received the response, this means that Google Forms has now been connected to Pabbly Connect and a trigger setup is done. Okay. Now, whenever a lead do the form submission using Google Forms, automatically in the similar manner, Pabbly Connect is going to capture the response of that. Okay. So now after setting up our trigger step, we need to set up our action step. Here, my objective is that as soon as the form submission is going to be done by the lead using Google Forms, I want to add that lead as a person in my Encharge account. Encharge is a powerful marketing automation tool designed to help businesses manage and nurture their leads through personalized email marketing campaigns. It allows you to create dynamic workflows, engage your audience based on their behavior, preferences, or stage in the customer journey. With Encharge, you can segment your audience, send automated emails, track performance, and build strong relationships with your customers. And I use Encharge to manage the data of all my leads that are generated for my business. Okay. So now what we are going to do is we are going to set up an action step for that. And for the action application, I'm going to select it as Encharge. Okay. So I'm going to select my action application as Encharge. And as I want to create the lead who have done the form submission as a person in my Encharge account, so for the action event, I'm going to select it as add or update person. Then I'm going to click on this connect button. A window is going to appear in front of you, on which click on add new connection, or else you can select the existing connection that you have. After that, click on connect with Encharge. As I'm going to do that, the window is going to appear in front of you, on which you have to click on this allow button. As the save present data is perfectly saved with Pabbly Connect, so I'm going to click on this allow button right here. As I've done that, you can see it is successfully authorized Encharge with Pabbly Connect. After authorizing, it is asking for all these details of the person that we want to create in our Encharge account. So for the data of these details, what we're going to do is we're going to map the data. What is mapping? Mapping means inserting data from the previous step. So we're going to insert the data from the previous step of this workflow. How mapping works is that as soon as I'm going to click on this field, this was the previous step, that is Google Forms new response received. As I'm going to click on it, this was the same response that was captured in our previous step. Okay. It is asking for the email. As I want to create the lead who have done the form submission using Google Forms as a person in my Encharge account. So for the data of this email, I'm going to select the data of the email of my lead from my previous response. As I've selected the data from my previous response, the data is mapped. And as I map the data has now become dynamic. That means whenever a new response is going to be captured in our previous step, automatically the new data is going to be updated in place of this mapped data. After that, it is asking for the first name. So for the first name over here, I'm going to map the data of the first name. For the last name, I'm going to map the data of the last name. Next, it is asking for all these details which I do not require, so I'm going to skip the part. It is asking for the company, so we have received the data of the company, so I'm going to map the data of the company right here. Okay. After that, it's asking for the lead source right over here. So for the lead source over here, I'm going to write it as Google Forms submission. Okay, this is the lead source. Okay, after that, it's asking for all these details which I do not require, so I'm going to skip the part. Yes, for the phone number, we're going to map the data of the phone number that we have received. Okay, after filling in all the required details, if I'm going to scroll down, I do not require these fields, so I'm going to skip the part. And then simply what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the save and send test request button after filling in all the required details. As I've done that, you can see right away we received a response, which is a positive response. So now I'm going to open my Encharge account and I'm going to check whether a new person has been created in my Encharge account or not. For that, I'm going to open my Encharge account. This is the person's page of my Encharge account. I'm going to refresh this page from here. As I've refreshed the page, you can see a new person has been added to my Encharge account. Let us tally the response. The name comes as testdummy67, email as testdummy67@pabblytunes.com. If I'm going to scroll down, the company name comes as new company. For the phone number, the number comes right over here. This is a dummy mobile number. Okay. As over here, you can see we successfully created a person in our Encharge account. This means that we have successfully created an automation between Google Forms and Encharge with the help of Pabbly Connect. So now to sum up till now what we have done, I am an owner of a digital marketing agency and using Google Forms, I collect the data of my leads. For my trigger, I've selected it as Google Forms so that whenever a new form submission is going to be done, automatically the response of that is going to be captured in my trigger. I wanted to add that lead as a person in my Encharge account. For that, I've set up my action. So now whenever a form submission is going to be done, that lead is going to be added as a person in my Encharge account with the help of this action step, okay? And I've created this automation between these two applications. So this was it for this video. Thank you so much for watching.
Not just with these applications, you can create automation between multiple other applications with the help of Pabbly Connect. If you have any questions, you can contact us on support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can check the queries on forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, then you can check out this link. If you like this video, please do subscribe to our channel, hit on the like button, comment on if you have any questions or doubts, and please share this video.